Sanmitra, can you hear me and see the screen?
Yes, bro.
Okay, so let's start. I guess Srishti and Amit will take some time, so we'll start. I have shared some screenshot with you guys to just let you know that how it looks once we start the replication. In last session, we saw the next button, and after all those wizards, at the end you get a replicate button. The moment you click on replicate, your application starts, and then those screens appear, which I have shared in your WhatsApp group as a screenshots. Okay, initially it shows synchronizing, then it shows what was the other thing? Percentage. It shows, right? It shows what was the other screenshot? Let me quickly check. The other screenshot was I have shared in the group. I hope you saw that, right? So one was one was waiting for the first recovery. Okay. Once the synchronization
Yes.
completes, it shows waiting for the first recovery. So these are stages, and after that, the final stage is uh, protected, the one which you are looking at. Here now we are ready to do the migration. We simply have to click on migrate button and we can do the migration. Before that, we can do a test migration, which is an optional thing from the technical perspective. But when it comes to live environment, they will always do the test migration. When it comes to your interview, you will always include this step. You will say that we did the assessment, we replicated the server, everything was done, and then we did a test migration, and then we migrated. So let's quickly do a test migration. We'll do a test migration of this machine, Windows
Just a
2K16.
question,
This,
Sujit.
yes.
Yeah. So when you're doing a test migration, you're not actually going to move the entire machine over, right? You'll have the machine there, the actual machine that you're going to move, and you'll also have this thing. You'll also be migrating that onto the server, right? When you do
Right.
the
See,
actual
in
migration of the
both
server,
case,
actually, right?
right. In a way, you're right, Sanmitra. But let me explain it to you. In both case, we are not literally moving that machine. Okay, we are replicating. The moment I clicked on replicate, this 1 hour's break which we have taken from previous session to this session, in this 1 hour,
Mhm.
this machine has replicated here. So my actual machine, see the actual machine, it is still there. It is working fine. I have not cut paste this machine. In a way, if I tell you in copy paste wali language mein, if I tell you, I have copied the machine over there. I'm not cutting the machine from here and pasting there. I've copied it. I've made a copy over there. So in test migration, from this copy, I will create a machine, but it will not impact my actual machine. In actual migration, again from this copy, I will create the machine, but that time this machine will get shut down just to avoid confusion and data loss. Other than this is not happening that I'm literally taking data from here, copying, literally I'm cutting the data from here and pasting there or moving the data. That is not the case. Okay, at the back end, migration uses ASR. We have already discussed ASR, site recovery. What does it do in site recovery? When we discuss backup and site recovery, what are the difference? साइट रिकवरी में वो जो है कंप्लीट रेप्लिकेट करता रहता है डेटा को, कंप्लीट रेप्लिकेशन. So here now I have complete replication of those machines. This is not a backup, this is not a standalone copy, this is a replication. If I make some changes in my actual machine, those will be replicated here. So this is the actual replication. Still, it is a separate copy. It is not moving that machine here. It is still a copy. I hope you're getting the point.
Mhm.
Okay. So now we'll do a test migration. For test migration, you don't have to do a test migration for all machines. You can select any of the machines or few machines. In our case, I'm selecting only one machine. I click on test migration here. I can directly migrate. I can stop replication, or I can do a test migration. Okay. And you can also resynchronize the machine if you think that there are some errors or something. If it is not showing healthy, then you can resynchronize the machine. This is one of the errors you can show when they tell you what are the errors did you face while migrating machines. You can say few machines were replicated, however they were not in healthy state. The replication health was not healthy. There was some error here, so we had to resynchronize them. You can use this term as well. Okay, health error details, if you want, you can get it here, but as of now we don't have any details, so we are not getting any where this is not applicable to click. You can stop replication. Now you think, okay, I think I have canceled the plan, or maybe I am stopping for some time. You can stop replication also. As of now we are doing a test migration. I click on test migration. I have to select a virtual network. Okay, when it comes to virtual network, uh, I will never ever select the same virtual network where I'm planning to have my actual machines. Okay, actual machines will be in a different network. For testing purpose, I will create a different virtual network, different subnet, uh, different resource group, everything. So you will have two copies of that. Getting it clearly? Which one I'm talking
Yes.
about? This one, the landing zone setup I was talking about. This one, we create this for migration, and we create one more thing for test. Okay. So I'll just select something here. I'll do click on test migration. Now it has started, it has starting the test migration. It is starting the test migration. You can click here and see the progress, or we can come here under jobs. And here, if you see the test failover, it is in progress. We'll wait here for 2-3 minutes. Once this is completed, I'll show you the machine, and then I'll show you how to clean up the test failover and do the actual migration. If you have any questions, meanwhile, let me know.
So when you're doing actual migration, it will be only a few servers that you'll use for test migration, right? The rest of them will be actual migration.
Yes.
Okay.
So meanwhile, while this is happening, Sanmitra, this is the actual machine which we are migrating. Okay, this is the machine which we are migrating. So if you see,
Okay.
this machine is not going to shut down. This machine is not going to shut down. It is as it is. And when we do the actual migration, you will see that this machine will shut down automatically. This machine and the other Linux machine also. But as of now, this machine is working. And if I go to this machine, and if I try accessing the application on this machine, let's say that I have work, let's say that we have this workday application. So this workday application, it is still working, but from where am I accessing this? I'm still accessing this from the old IP, uh, from the on-premise machine. From there I'm accessing this. Okay, so nothing happens to this machine. Everything is being tested, everything is being done on the replication which we had over there. Okay, so the test migration, it is in progress. I guess Srishti has joined. So
Yeah,
Srishti,
I saw.
yeah, after those screenshots, when we clicked on next wizard, the last option I had was replicate. I clicked on the blue button. It comes as a blue button. Replicate. It won't come in a video because recording was stopped, and in last 30 seconds I got that one. Okay, so you won't
Okay.
see it in recording, but when you practice, you will see it. It's just next. You have to click, and then you get a replicate option. Once you click on replicate, it takes some time. After some time, it will show, it will appear as waiting for this one 8% synchronized, 10% synchronized, 100% synchronized, and it will show waiting for the first recovery point, right? Once you see that, I'll show it to you. Where do you see all that? Though I've shared the screenshot already, just for your understanding. Okay, so when you come here, you can see here. Okay, this is the test failover in progress. Okay, here it is, the replication status. So initially it shows some percentage synchronized, then it shows waiting for first recovery. And once that is done, first recovery point has been created, it shows protected. Once it is protected, you are ready to move with the migration. But before we do the actual migration, we do a test migration. You could have 200, 300 machines here. You will not do a test migration on all of them, and you will not migrate a machine without a single test migration. So you click here. Once you click here, you see these options: test migration,
Okay.
or direct migrate, or cleanup, resynchronize, health error, stop replication. So first option is test migrate. The moment you click on test migration, then it starts looking like this. Here we are. Okay, we have covered in last 5 minutes, we have covered till here. So this is
Okay.
how it looks. Once this is done, I'll show you the next options. Cleanup, test migration. This we will do once our test has been completed successfully. Now, how can we check? When I click on test migration, see, when I click on test migration, it asks me a virtual network and other details. So I was just explaining it to Sanmitra that you have to create separate virtual network and separate storage account and everything separately, especially virtual network. You'd never want to mingle your actual migration virtual network and your test migration virtual network. The one which we are talking about, this I have created for the actual migration. But before that, I have to make a test migration also, right? So for that you have to create an extra VNet. Any VNet will do. Any VNet, anything will do. You just have to create one, click on migration. This is how it looks. I was talking about one error. Uh, in your interview, when they say that have you faced any error, so you can say, okay, yeah, there were 30 servers we were migrating, and I saw, or we realized that two of them, the replication health shows unhealthy or it has some error. So we had to click on that and we had to resynchronize. So this option you can use to resynchronize. Once you resynchronize, it initiates the process again, and then it becomes healthy in some time. Then again, you can start with test migration. Once the test migration is done, you can clean up the test migration and then you can migrate. We are at this stage now. We'll see it. We'll do the cleanup test migration, then we'll migrate, and that's all. Stop replication you can do
Okay.
if you have dropped the plan. Okay, and I was saying, while doing the test migration, our actual machine is working. If you see the workday application, it is working fine. This is while doing the test migration. But when we do the actual migration, that machine will be shut down. So that is the difference between test migration and actual migration. Yes, any questions, any, both of you?
No.
Okay, you can see the in progress details and everything here. So this is in progress. We will have to wait uh, till we see it has been completed. Then we'll see uh, an actual machine there. We can test that. We can RDP to that machine. We can take the remote of that machine. We can do all these things. Okay, guys, it is still in progress. Meanwhile, we have some time. We have some spare time. If you have any questions, please let me know. Any question related to migration, any questions? I'll prefer if you have any questions related to migration, we'll cover them in this session. So at least we'll have complete sessions when it comes to migration. If you do not have, I'll cover something about post migration task. Yes, guys, do you have any questions?
I don't.
Okay, I think, but this has been completed. Uh, let's see. In progress, it shows 0 and cleanup pending 0. Why is it showing cleanup pending? Because we have done a test migration. Okay, we can perform more test migration, or we can go ahead and check. First, let's go ahead and check. Where did we, which resource group did we select? We can go to that resource group, or we can directly come here and search for the virtual machine. In our case, it is easy to search for the virtual machine because we hardly have two virtual machines, existing two virtual machines. So third machine is the same one. You see, it picks up the same name. It puts hyphen test. The name of the machine was Win2K16. Just to cross verify, here it is, Win2K16. Okay, it picked up the same name. It picked up the exact same name and added hyphen test. It won't happen in your actual this one in your actual migration. Okay, so now you can log into this machine, take RDP of this machine, or use the public IP and check if that application is working. That is how you test your test migration. That is how you validate your test migration. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now you have the exact same machine. If you access this machine, you will be able to access that website. Okay, and that is how you do that. That is how you validate it. But it doesn't have a DNS name, it doesn't have an IP address. We'll have to assign an IP address, which is a time consuming process, and we again uh, we might not have that much of time. So what I'm doing here, I'm not testing this machine. Let's consider that we have tested. Now we will clean up the test and we'll go ahead with the actual migration, और actual migration को हम validate करके देखेंगे. It's the same method जो हम बाद में करने वाले वही वही यहाँ पर भी आपको करना है. You have to come to networking, assign a public IP, check that public IP, take RDP if you want, or just take the just check the website if it is working. Just check the application. If it is working, it's well and good. But in this case, we are not testing it. Let's consider that we have done the completed the testing and it is working fine. So I'll go back to my migration project, servers. I'll come here. It shows, see, VMs overview. I can click on. Replication machines. So here you have an option, clean up the test failover pending. Either you can click here, you can click here, and you can do the cleanup. You see, cleanup test migration. So I'm doing the cleanup. I will have to put notes. What kind of notes do you put here? You don't just put one or two liners. Okay, here you will mention detailed notes that uh, Kumail from application team was available. So ignore the spelling mistakes, guys, if there are any. Available for the testing. Okay, he tested the application, no issues found, or whatever his or her report is, you will mention that. Okay, then you can mention other name, Juhi from QA team approved it. Okay, Sanmitra from CAB team, change advisory board team approved it. Someone from Scrum team, someone from architect team, someone from XYZ. I mean, this kind of notes you will mention. I hope you got the idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how you will mention the test is completed. Delete this test virtual machine. This is done. Clean up test. And it's done. You're back to normal. Both of your machines will appear as protected. And now free to do a migration. You'll share this report with everyone, with your upper management, with architecture team, with application team, and everyone. They will go through it. They will check the results. They will do the discussion between them, and then they will decide a time. Okay, now when to do the actual migration? Because when you were performing this test migration, my machine, my application was not down. If you see, this machine is still up. So it didn't bother me. When do you want to do it? Whenever you are free, do it. Why am I free? Being an application owner, I'm free with that. I have no issues with that. Do whenever you want. Why? Because it is not impacting my actual machine. So it's up to you. I tell you guys, you select your time, do it, and share the report with me. But now when it comes to actual migration will shut down my machine. We'll have to apply the IP address. We'll have to repoint the DNS and everything. We'll have to do the testing. So even if it is for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, which means that for those particular 4 or 5 hours, this application of mine, Workday application, it will not be working. So you cannot take this decision. Your manager cannot take this decision. Your architect team, they cannot take this decision. This decision has to be taken by the application owner. जो भी उस application का owner है, that person will know कि मेरा application सबसे कम किस time use होता है. When can I afford it? For example, some organizations, they do have this year-end offs, like next week it will be completely off for few organizations. So they know कि यार ये 25 से 30 तारीख वाला जो time है इसमें application बिल्कुल use नहीं होगा, and this is the best time for do any kind of maintenance. So they will give you a time slot. Okay, you can do in this time, or maybe in some night time, or Saturday, Sunday, whatever time has given. Now you're free to do the migration. Now if you see, test migration has been completed. In this, on this machine we never performed test migration, so it shows never performed. You can double click and you can see the details here also. Test migration never performed. Health status is healthy. Last synchronization was done recently. Configuration issues, there are no issues. Test subscription, etc. All these details you can see here. Okay, this one you have already performed. The test migration has been performed. It has been cleaned. Everything has been done. You're free to migrate. At this time, you are migrating all the machines. All as in, you discovered 200 machines. Out of them you selected you are moving with only 20 machines. You replicated 20 machines, and now you are migrating 20 machines. You tested the migration on 2 machines. It was fine. Management gave an approval. That's fine. So you simply come here, click on migrate button. Click both machines. If you want, obviously in this case we want both of machines, right? Shut down the machine before migration to data loss. You can select no, but it is never recommended because data loss काफी हद तक data loss होता है इसमें. Because if your machine is on, okay, this machine is on, so someone is accessing Workday application, someone is applying leave on that, someone is downloading the payslip, someone is uploading some data, and at the same time I'm migrating that machine somewhere else. So there are highly chances that a data loss will be there. Hence you always select it yes, and then you click on migrate, and that's all you have to do. Okay, now let's see, it has started. You will see that this machine will shut down. This is not the machine actually, this is just the website we are accessing. This is the machine. Okay, this is the machine. So you will see this machine will shut down, and not only this machine, you will see both machines, instead of running mode, they will be in shutdown mode, shutdown or off, whatever. Okay, so this is the machine we are migrating. Here it is. This is the machine which is being migrated. So let's say it is still starting. You can see the details here in this one. Planned failover was initiated. Understand guys, for migration also it is naming it as planned failover. Where did we use this terminology? We used it in backup and recovery. If you remember, there's a difference, backup and recovery and a replication. So if you remember, there's a difference between backup, there's difference between replication. This topic, if you remember. Backup is something you take a backup and it is an isolated copy. You can take a backup of a machine which is in shutdown mode also. You can take a backup of that machine also. But replication is something else. If you remember this topic, why am I bringing it here? Replication uses Azure Site Recovery Services. So it replicates the machine completely. So later on, if you want, if your zone is down or your machine is down, you can uh, pull up the new machine from there. You can turn on the machine from that replicated image. Same thing happens here. It has replicated your machine. It uses ASR in background. So this could be one of the question, that which service Azure uses when it comes to migration. So Azure uses ASR, Azure Site Recovery Services. And that was the agent which we installed. The name of that agent, if you read at the initially we installed that agent, it was, okay guys, see, this machine has shut down. It is turned off. I did not do that. Because we initiated the migration, this one has turned off and this one is also turned off. Linux and Windows, both machines are turned off. And now it's done. The work is done now. You will never ever use this machine unless your migration is failed and you want to follow the failback plan. Whenever you do a change or a migration, there is a failback plan also. What if migration doesn't work? Then what will you do? So then you have a simple failback plan that will stop this and will turn on those machines again, will change the DNS names if they were appointed to new machine. So that is your failback plan. So we'll click on jobs. You should see in progress. Here it is. Planned failover in progress. Okay. Once this is completed, we should see two machines here. You see Azure Site Recovery temp. It is creating a temp image first, and then it will create the machine. I hope you remember the ASR session, guys. If not, please go ahead and check that and then start with the migration, because these are related topics. Same technology is being used at the backend. It's the only GUI which Azure has given you. When it comes to migration, they have given you a GUI, but ultimately Azure Site Recovery Service is being used, and this could be one of the interview questions. So it is still in progress. Any questions do you have? Sanmitra, Srishti?
Nothing so far.
Srishti, clear?
Yeah, it's clear. But like we just have to migrate after migrate, post migrate, there will be something, right?
Yes, yes, we'll discuss that. Okay, let's go to that. While this is happening, we'll go to that. Post migration, what will you do? Basic things, assigning IP, testing, and everything. Whatever we did in test migration, we'll follow the same
Mhm.
things for actual migration also. We'll see that now. That time we skipped assigning IP and testing the application. Here we'll do that. That is technical part. Once the technical part is done, then what do you do? In migration, this should be your interview answer. Okay, from here, this should be a non-stop answer. I mean, without their interruption. You should talk about pre-migration. Should talk about assessment. You should talk about migrations, landing zone setup. You should talk about what comes under landing zone setup. Then once that is done, then you should talk about post-migration. What will you say? Post-migration, there is a hypercare period. I am emphasizing on these words, guys, because I want you to use these words in the interview. So it will look good. In interviewer will be convinced that you have really worked. So use these words like landing zone setup, assessment, migration, cloud center of excellence team, uh, hypercare period. So what is a hypercare period? Once you have migrated those machines, it is not the immediate moment you will send it to the support team. Okay, it has been done now, support team, you take care of that. No, that is not the case. Post migration, there is a hypercare period. Under hypercare period, what do? You monitor. Now how do you monitor? We do have monitoring sessions. Check them. How do you monitor? We have only 10 minutes left, guys. I want to complete this in the same recording. So we have to monitor. You do monitor this machine for what? For cost. One machine, we predicted that this machine will cost me 10,000 per month. So if I do the calculation, 5,000 rupees for 2 weeks. If it is in dollars, some other amount, XYZ amount, any amount, let's say 5,000 US dollars for 2 weeks. But you're doing the analysis and you see this is giving a bill of 20,000. So you have to go back and check what went wrong. Literally, you don't have to go back. You'll just share the report with the architecture team that you asked us to create this. We created this. This was the expected result. This is the actual result. So check what is the wrong. If it is costing more than we estimated, then check why. Security point of view, check if we have kept any ports unnecessary opened. While creating the machine, we opened so many ports and later we realized that this port was not needed. Application owner has given a list. It had only 10 ports. We kept 11 ports open, which is the extra port. That could be a security threat, a severe security threat. So we check that. Performance, are they performing well? Is it being utilized properly? Optimization, are they underutilized? Are they overutilized? Do we have to change the machine size? All these details you will check under your hypercare period. Usually your hypercare period is of 2 weeks. Under that 2 weeks, maybe it was not your fault. Okay, your architecture team has given you to create a machine with 8 GB. You created with 8 GB. Your architecture team did that because they got some feedback from the application team, so everyone was correct. It's only matter of some choice. Something went wrong. Now application team is saying instead of 8 GB we require 16 GB. Not a big deal, very small task. But they will not go to the support team. Why? Because these servers are recently migrated and they are under hypercare period. So within 2 weeks, it is your job to change the RAM, to change the hard disk, to change the machine size, everything and anything. RDP is not working. Whatever comes to you, it is your job. Deal with that. Once the 2 weeks period is completed, and it is not a hard line of 2 weeks. Some companies follow 2 weeks, some will follow 3 weeks, some companies 1 week. Okay, so you stick with 2 weeks or whatever comes to your mind that time. It's okay. The point is you should understand what is hypercare period, what is the process after migration. So in hypercare period, anything comes to you, you will deal with that. If you don't understand, you can take help from your maybe your supervisor, your architecture team, anyone, your lead architect, your team lead, your tech lead, anything is fine. Okay, once that is done, then you hand over the project to the support team. Post that, if they want to delete the machine, edit the machine, add RAM, add hard disk, remove hard disk, anything and everything, that will be taken care of the support team. You say I was not a part of the support team, because there is a different support team. They have to act very on priority one tickets also. They cannot simply say delete the machine and create new machine. In this migration, if something goes wrong, if my machine is not working fine, what I'll do, I'll simply delete the machine and create a new one. Why? Because this is not a production environment yet. I'm still working on that. I have a downtime window. But with support, it is a suddenly down. This is a planned downtime. Application owner has already sent an email to all the users that our application will be shut down for Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You will not be able to access. So you have that leverage of those 16 hours. You have that liberty. You can create a machine, you can delete machine, create again. But in support, production window has suddenly machine has stopped. There are thousands of users in middle of session. They were doing something, they were working on something. So that is a different level of skill set. You will not go there. Okay, so your job finishes here. So let's quickly go back and check if it has synchronized. It is still in progress for Windows. Linux has been done, but Windows machine is the one which we have to check. So we have to wait for that. Meanwhile, we'll see how a machine looks like once it is migrated. Linux has been done, so let's have a look at Linux. So if you see, there is no test, there is no ASR. There is ASR written in front of the Windows machine. Why? Because it is still in progress. Once it will be done completely, you will simply see the machine, a machine directly. If you see the name, see the machine name was Linux, and this machine name was Win2K16. When we did a test migration, we had hyphen test after those machines. Here you will not see the hyphen test. You see that directly a machine. You can assign an IP to this and you can do the testing. That we will do on our Windows machine. So let's wait for Windows machine to complete the migration on this one. Even if that is not done, it is very simple, guys. I mean, after this, I have already showed, I have already covered this with you guys, how to assign an IP, right? You can do this in your own practical. Still, let me go to this one and see what is the status. Only 4 minutes are left. Do you have any questions? Let me know. See, one is healthy, one is in progress, one migration is completed. So this is the one we are waiting for. It is still in progress. I hope this gets completed before these 4 minutes and I'm able to assign an IP and you guys are able to access the website. Even if it is not done in this recording, I will assign the IP and I'll ping the IP on the group and you guys can see the same Workday application should be accessible.
Okay.
Yes, guys, do you have any questions? I covered it a little bit fast in a faster way. Watch the recordings. If you have any questions, let me know. This is the last session of this batch. We are done with the technical thing. Next sessions we'll have in a group or maybe one-on-one, resume building, and how to present your current job profile, talking about your team, talking about your projects. Those details we are going to cover. So from Jan second week, Jan first week, you guys can start your interviews. And
Okay.
start
So
revising, start reading the old topics also. Yeah, sorry, you're asking something.
yeah, no, I'm just saying. So tomorrow there will not be any session. We'll be starting from second week of Jan.
We'll have one-on-one sessions now. So whatever the suitable time, I'll ping you
Okay.
guys, and if some one of you think that I'm ready for the interview, ping me. We'll do that. Those sessions, because we won't record them, it will be a one-on-one session. I can conduct that over the phone as well. So it has been done. Let's quickly check. So I'll go to machines. See, Win2K16 machine is already up and running. The only thing which is missing is an IP address. So I'll try to assign an IP address to this one. Let's see if I am able to do that successfully. Within 2 minutes, if we are able to do it, we'll do that and check the machine. So here there is no IP and there is no NSG assigned to this. Nick is there. I hope you guys are getting it right. I'm not explaining this because I have already covered this in the
Yeah.
very early sessions, first and second session, that how to assign an IP address, how to assign public IP and etc., how to assign NSG. We have covered everything there. I hope this works. I mean, it will definitely work, but I hope this uh, finishes before the session stops. Just one thing I have to do and then it will be done. I have to assign an NSG. Now, if you try to access this IP, you won't be able to, because there's no network security group assigned to this IP, and all traffics will be blocked. All type of traffic will be blocked. So I have assigned an IP here. Srishti, we are done with your one-on-one sessions, right? Explaining your
Yeah,
resume and
resume
etc.
building. Yeah.
I'm a dermatologist and a dermatosurgeon. Still, if you want me to cover that again, we'll do that. Okay, this has been done. Sanmitra, you also let me know whenever you are ready. Let me know. We'll cover your sessions also.
Yes, actually, I want to this thing. I want to revise all the old topics. Then we'll go
Yes,
over the
do that
sessions and
whenever you are ready. Let me know.
yes, yes.
Okay, so this is the IP, guys. Please try accessing that once I assign the network. Copy this IP address, or I'm sending it here because we are left with less than a 1 minute. Copy this IP address, and then you can try it in 5 minutes. I will just put an
Okay.
NSG here, which will allow us to access the port, and then you can try it. I'll ping you on WhatsApp. And once you are able to see that, say that there are no rules created here. Okay, so we'll have to assign one NSG. So either we can assign on a subnet level or we can assign it on NIC level. So I'll do that and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this has been done. You can try it in 2 minutes and let me know if it is not working.